afternoon, and welcome to the public hearing of the Commission on Judicial Appointment. As Chief Justice of California, I serve as chair of the Commission. The other members of the Commission are Attorney General Rob Bonta and Presiding Justice Arthur Gilbert. Janelle Baker serves as Secretary to the Commission. This hearing is to consider Governor Gavin Newsom's appointment of Justice Braden Currey to the office of Presiding Justice for the 2nd District Court of Appeal, Division 4. The Commission is in receipt of a letter from Governor Newsom appointing Justice Currey to fill a vacancy created by the retirement of Justice Nora Manella. The state constitution specifies that an appointment by the governor to the Court of Appeal is effective when confirmed by the Commission on Judicial Appointments. The Commission has received correspondence pertaining to this appointment, and we made these letters available to the press and to the public a few days ago. Pursuant to the request of Governor Newsom, the State Bar's Judicial Nominees Evaluation Commission has undertaken an evaluation of the qualifications of Justice Currey for this position. Mr. Justin Palmer, chair of that commission, is here with us to share the results of his evaluation later in these proceedings. Justice Currey has asked that the following persons testify on his behalf. I will list all of you now and then call on you separately to come to the virtual podium. First, the Honorable Nora Manella, retired Presiding Justice of the 2nd District Court of Appeal, Division 4, and Mr. Braden Currey, Justice Currey's son and new law school graduate. Congratulations. We first invite Justice Manella to the podium. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, caro Arturo, cuore del mio cuore.
Muchas gracias.
It is my great pleasure to be here today. I know how busy all the members of the Commission are, and I know this is not the only confirmation that you have today. I also know that every day each of you is called upon to make weighty and far-reaching decisions. And finally, I know that many of those decisions are difficult and controversial. Happily, this one should be neither. I hesitate to use the term no-brainer before this august body, but I venture to say that the decision to confirm Justice Braden Currey as Presiding Justice of Division 4 should be a relatively easy one. As will be made clear later in these proceedings with the report of the Jenny Commission, Justice Currey comes to this hearing with qualifications that can only be called exceptional. From associate and then partner in an international law firm, to counsel to the Christopher Commission, member of the Executive Committee and Board of Trustees of the LA County Bar Association, to pro bono advocate for clients ranging from the underrepresented in census counts to the trout population of California, from public school advocate along with his wife Gail, to adjunct professor, to chair of the Federal Magistrate Judges Selection Committee, to counsel to the mayor, to deputy mayor, to Superior Court judge, to Court of Appeal justice, to appellate representative to the CJA, and most recently to chair of the California Civility Task Force. Justice Currey brings a depth and breadth of professional experience that would be hard to match and impossible to exceed. It's no secret that I lobbied shamelessly for Justice Currey's appointment to fill my seat when I was named Presiding Justice following the retirement of the late, great Norman Epstein. It's not that I knew Justice Currey that well at the time, but we were both alums of O'Melveny and Myers, and I knew enough people there and on the Superior Court to do my due diligence. Now, as anyone who knows me can attest, I am not a betting woman, but I thought I had a pretty good horse. What I got was Secretariat, or rather what we got, I should say, as our tight-knit court then consisted of Justice Tom Wilhite, recently retired, and the still very active Audrey Collins. While Justice Currey's professional qualifications were well known to me and to all of us, I doubt any of us were aware of the personal qualities that would make him such a critical addition to our court and such a terrific colleague. Let me highlight just briefly a few of those personal qualifications. First of all, Justice Currey is very, very tall. This quality might not seem, or might seem irrelevant to judicial excellence, and I certainly hope it's not a prerequisite, But I've sometimes wondered whether Justice Curry's broad-ranging, clear-eyed, objective, thoughtful approach to problem solving might not stem, at least in part, from the fact that he can, quite literally, see farther than the rest of us. Second, he is cool. He is personally understated, with a wry and self-deprecating sense of humor. As every good jurist should be, he is not hot-tempered, and he is not quick to anger, either on the bench or off. He keeps his cool. He's often the smartest person in the room, but the last to say so. He has that rare quality of putting brain in gear before putting mouth in motion. Unlike most of us who adhere to Saul Bellows' motto, "How do I know what I think until I hear what I say?" Justice Curry is often the last to speak or ask a question, but when he does, has something perceptive and thoughtful to say or ask. On the bench, he is respectful of colleagues and litigants alike. Off the bench, Justice Curry is diplomatic and unflappable. He's able to give and take constructive criticism without a hint of defensiveness. He is willing to reconsider his own opinions, and he's able to respectfully persuade his colleagues to reconsider theirs. He treats court staff with the same respect he shows his colleagues. Like all cool people, he works very hard to make it look easy. Third, he is awesome. Now, this is not a word I customarily use, and indeed it's not my word, but that of a juror who spent some time in then Judge Curry's courtroom, who gave him a 5-star review on Yelp, saying, and I quote, "I had Judge Curry, and he was so awesome. He was funny, spoke very well, respectful, firm, and down to earth. Overall, my experience was great." That juror's view is shared by those who have worked with Justice Curry. As the CJA president noted in connection with his leadership of the California Civility Task Force, the state bar's ultimate decision to recommend implementation of the task force's proposals, quote, would not have happened without Justice Curry's vision, determination, and steady hand. He gets things done. I believe that is the definition of awesome. And fourth, finally, for all of his awesome coolness and verticality, Justice Curry cares. He cares about providing justice to those who find themselves before the courts. His understated demeanor sits atop a deep well of decency and a commitment to make the judicial system live up to its most laudable ideals. It is evident in the myriad ways he has contributed to his community, both as a private citizen and a public servant, and the way he has conducted himself as a trial judge and an appellate justice. Just one example is evidenced in the remarks he makes to litigants appearing before Division 4. He recently shared with me the comments he makes as acting PJ before oral argument begins. Like all PJs, he gives a brief explanation of how the court will proceed, when and how the litigants or lawyers should make their appearances, and how they'll be notified of the court's decision. At one point, Justice Curry recognizes the different backgrounds of people who may be appearing in court, and he says, quote, "At each of our monthly arguments, we usually have a mix of experienced appellate advocates, lawyers who have little or no appellate experience, and self-represented parties for whom this might be a new experience. Everyone is welcome here." Those 4 final words speak volumes about Justice Curry, reflecting his genuine belief that the courts are here to serve everyone, and that we jurists do so not grudgingly or simply from a sense of duty, but eagerly and with an enthusiastic commitment to justice. Members of the Commission, over 17 years ago, it was my great good fortune to join a division with a reputation for civility, collegiality, timeliness, and intellectual integrity. I am confident Presiding Justice Curry will carry on that tradition. He will, of course, be aided enormously by his longtime colleague, the brilliant, accomplished, and deservedly legendary former Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court, Audrey Collins. Between the two of them, there will be no loss of continuity or tradition. And as for his newest colleagues, Justice Audra Morey and I hope soon to be Justice Helen Zukin, well, he'll be the only PJ they've ever known, so they'll think he's the bee's knees. Division 4 has had a great presiding justice before in Norm Epstein. And as many traits skip a generation, it can have one again in Justice Curry. I urge his confirmation as presiding justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justice Manella. I enjoyed hearing about him being tall, cool, awesome, caring, and following you, he has big shoes to fill. So thank you. We next invite to the podium Mr. Braden Currey, Justice Currey's son.
Good afternoon, Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, and Presiding Justice Gilbert. My name is Braden Currey, and I am honored to have been invited to speak in support of my father, Justice Brian Currey, to the Office of Presiding Justice. I believe Justice Currey is not only an exceptionally well-qualified justice, but also, and from my perspective, perhaps more importantly, an exceptionally well-qualified father. He has always been an inspiration to me, my brothers, and my entire community. I've looked up to him, I guess, as Justice Collins mentioned, literally up to him my entire life as a paragon of kindness and fairness with a deep commitment to justice, but also a genuinely good guy. I grew up watching and benefiting from his work, both out in the office and in our community. I remember fishing with him as a child on some of the rivers he helped protect in his pro bono matters. And as an infant, also, so my parents tell me, I was a frequent prop in his campaigns for bond issuances, holding me up like this, to ensure that our city's schools would be equipped to help every child in our district flourish. He taught me a lot growing up, more than I have time to tell you about today, though I know he'll at least appreciate that I've included some more details here in the footnotes. Instead, I'll focus on three of the most relevant things. First, Justice Currey gave me a deep appreciation for nature and our public lands. Some of my most fond childhood memories are of our camping and backpacking trips in the Sierra Nevadas. In fact, my oldest brother, Kevin, who's here with us today, was so inspired by these trips that he's made a career in environmental justice. Second, he's also a gifted writer. When I was young, he taught me how to write well, to write like a lawyer through meticulous and careful edits. His voice is ingrained in my head even today, asking me to add a second space after each period. I write a paragraph. Thanks, Dad. And most importantly, he taught me about justice. He taught me what it means to be fair, actually genuinely fair, and how to treat others with dignity and respect. And through his efforts in our community, now on the bench, I've learned about the hard work that is the prerequisite to any serious pursuit of equity in our society. I think there's a lot of overlap between what makes for a good judge and a good dad. I had the great fortune to grow up in a household led by two lawyers. And while I knew I was never going to win an argument with them, they made clear to their children that they were committed to some very important principles: giving every litigant a fair opportunity to be heard on the pleadings, faithfully applying precedent to facts, and finding a just result when that precedent ran out. Now, I'll let you evaluate Justice Currey's record on these issues in the courtroom, but I give his record in the living room my highest possible endorsement. I graduated from Yale Law School this May and will be working at Williams & Connolly in D.C. before clerking for judges on the Southern District of New York and the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans. And as I'm preparing to enter our profession, and by preparing I mean that I'm literally studying for the bar right now, Justice Currey was asking me some very tricky bar review questions just last night. I can think of no better role model for me and for all our state's lawyers than my father. He is exactly the kind of lawyer I went to law school to become, and I can think of nobody better qualified to occupy the office of presiding justice. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Currey, for your thoughtful remarks. And I have no doubt that you'll be more successful in arguing against others who are not your parents. So I look forward to that. The commission now invites the chair of the Judicial Nominees Evaluation Commission, Mr. Justin Palmer, for the report of the evaluation that his commission prepared. You're muted, I think.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you virtually. Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, Presiding Justice Gilbert. My name is Justin Palmer, and I'm honored to present this report on behalf of the Commission of Judicial Nominations and Evaluation. Summarize the basis of the Commission's rating of Justice Brian Currey for the Office of Presiding Justice of the Court of Appeal, 2nd Appellate District, Division 4. The Ginny Commission conducted its evaluation of Justice Currey on April 14, 2023, unanimously finding him to be exceptionally well qualified for service on the 2nd District Court of Appeal. According to Commission rules, that rating reflects the Commission's determination that Justice Currey possesses qualities and attributes of remarkable or extraordinary superiority that enable him to perform the appellate judicial function with distinction. Justice Currey was born in San Pedro, California, and is the youngest of 3 children. Father, an elementary school principal, and mother, a school secretary, emphasized the importance of education and hard work. While in high school, Justice Currey worked as a janitor and assistant maintenance mechanic at a local factory to help pay for his college tuition. He later obtained a BA in economics from the University of California, Davis, and JD from the University of Virginia School of Law. After graduating from law school and for the next 30 years, Justice Currey worked at O'Melveny & Myers, LLP, first as an associate, then as a partner, and of counsel. He led large trial teams in his complex civil litigation practice and managed hundreds of attorneys and staff as vice chair of the firm's litigation department. He also handled significant pro bono work, including serving as lead counsel in litigation that allowed the United States Census Bureau to count traditionally undercounted groups more accurately for purposes of allocating federal funds and redistricting. In 2010, Justice Currey worked as counsel to the mayor and deputy mayor for economic and business policy for the city of Los Angeles. He advised the mayor and his staff in the full spectrum of issues facing the city, including education, budget and fiscal issues, labor and employment, pension and benefit reform. He served as a member of the mayor's executive team, the mayor's chief ethics officer and liaison to the courts and legal community. Justice Currey was appointed to the Los Angeles Superior Court in 2014. He held various assignments, including traffic, misdemeanor, and independent calendar, and served 2 terms as a justice pro tem at the 2nd Appellate District. In 2018, he was appointed to the 2nd District Court of Appeal, Division 4. Justice Currey has authored hundreds of appellate opinions, and his writing samples reflect his clear, concise writing skills. Outside of the courtroom, Justice Currey has devoted countless hours to the legal and broader communities. He regularly teaches continuing education courses, has held leadership positions with many organizations, including the Los Angeles County Bar Association and California Judges Association, and is chair of the California Civility Task Force. He has volunteered as a coach and referee for local youth sports teams and spent thousands of hours leading successful campaigns for bond measures that funded the construction and renovation of local public schools. In his spare time, limited as it may be, Justice Currey enjoys spending time with his family and engaging in outdoor activities such as jogging, hiking, kayaking. Justice Currey has a breadth of experience as a litigator and trial judge. Throughout his distinguished career, he has consistently demonstrated excellence, integrity, strong work ethic, and a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Justice Currey is universally lauded for his intelligence, collegiality, leadership skills, and outstanding judicial temperament. The investigation revealed Justice Currey is personable, humble, and committed to serving the public by ensuring his court promotes fair and unbiased proceedings where all voices are heard. For all these reasons, the Commission determined Justice Currey to be exceptionally well qualified, presiding justice for the 2nd District Court of Appeal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palmer, for your detailed report and the work of your commission. We now invite Justice Currey to the podium to present a statement, if you wish, and to answer any questions the commission may have.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Chief Justice Guerrero, Attorney General Bonta, and my dear friend, Presiding Justice Arthur Gilbert. I'd like to begin by thanking the Governor for his appointment of me to this position, and also Secretary Cespedes for bringing my existence to the Governor's attention. I'm humbled and gratified by all the wonderful things that people have said and written about me. And I'd especially like to thank Supervising Deputy Attorney General John Allen, who authored the Attorney General's Office report, Jenny Chair Justin Palmer, and the Jenny Commissioners who were involved in the evaluation process. Also, I'm indebted to my friend and mentor, retired presiding justice Nora Manella, and I have to say that I will never match her eloquence, wit, or charm, but I'll beat her at basketball. She is one of my role models to be a great presiding justice. I'd like to thank my friends and colleagues, Justice Audrey Collins, CJA President Dave Rosenberg, and CLA President Jeremy Evans for writing in support of my confirmation. I have been a lawyer and a judge long enough to know when someone should rest his case. And I'm almost ready to do that. I beg your indulgence because I'd like to take a few moments to introduce some people in the audience who are special to me and who have brought me to this point. First, my family. You've already met Braden, a new law school graduate who gets to address an august body like this is a rarity and probably an experience that it'll take a few years for him to duplicate. But I thank him for his comments. Delighted that he had the opportunity. He acquitted himself well, and I'm even more delighted that he had such nice things to say about me. Thank you, Brady. My wife, Gail, is here. I first met Gail as a first-year law student, and we got married the week after law school graduation. You're a little behind on that schedule, Braden. She's been a lawyer, a college and career counselor, and is now happily retired. Thank you, Gail, for everything. Our other two sons are here as well, seated in the front row. I guess you can't see them, but the first, our oldest, is Kevin. He works for the Ford Foundation, fighting climate change by helping indigenous people regain control of their forests. Turns out indigenous people take better care of their forests than petrochemical companies, logging companies, and other profit-minded entities. Our middle son, Sean, is here. He is an aerospace engineer at SpaceX and is in the midst of getting his second master's degree in artificial intelligence. In addition to Justice Manella, my other wonderful Division IV colleagues are here. Justice Audrey Collins, Justice Audra Mori, and Judge Helen Zukin, hopefully by the end of the day, Justice Helen Zukin. Also retired Justice Tom Wilhite is here. Thank you for coming, Tom. All of them are good friends. They know me and my work as well as anyone, and their support means the world to me. I also appreciate the support of the other Second Appellate District judges who are present or watching today. Presiding Justice Rubin, I think, is here. This will be the third of my confirmation hearings that he has managed to attend and live through. Thank you for that, Justice Rubin. My colleagues, I think, would all agree that great research attorneys and law clerks are critical to success as an appellate justice. My staff is here. I'd like you to stand for a minute. Tracy Silver, Jennifer Hom Chen, Caroline Gutierrez, Josh Scher, my third research attorney, is recovering from a little bit of surgery and couldn't make it, but I know he's here in spirit. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Division 4 has many other outstanding employees working for us, many of whom are here or watching at a watch party in our division conference room. Hello to all of you, and thank you so much for the wonderful work that you do on our behalf. I spent over 30 years at O'Melveny, as has been noted. Two of my oldest friends from the firm are here, Rich Getz and Tad Allen, to remind me of those years. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. My friend Doug Silverstein is here, who is on the civility task force with me and extremely involved in many of the Bar Association activities that I'm involved in. Thanks for coming and representing those groups. Finally, I'd like to thank, and some would say suck up to, Administrative Presiding Justice Elwood Louie. No, in all seriousness, for his support and for the work that he does for the court, and our Clerk of Court, Eva McClintock, and her staff for making things here run so smoothly. And with that, I do submit, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Justice Currey. I'll turn it over to first Justice Gilbert if you have any questions.
Yes, thank you. Just on one personal note, as presiding justice, you get to have RET after your name, Manella pointed out. You are one of the tallest justices, and I am one of the shortest. And I just want to thank you for never looking down at me. I really appreciate it. You're now known as an acting presiding justice, and soon, if you're lucky, you can drop the acting. So you've been an acting presiding justice for several months now.
Six
To be exact.
Or maybe 7.
Okay, even 7. Who's counting? And we've been at executive meetings together. I just like you to get your impression of what are the differences, if any, between being a presiding justice, and for all intents and purposes you are now, and being an associate justice.
Well, first of all, I get to attend more meetings with you, and that's always a pleasure. It actually was a challenging job during the first few months because we had only 2 confirmed justices working in the division. We had to balance that work with pro tems who were serving, and we had to rotate staff through. I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with this process, and probably Chief Justice Guerrero, you're familiar with it. I don't know about you, Attorney General Bonta, but in the court system, when a appellate justice retires, the research attorneys seem to head for the exits as quickly as possible, hoping to secure permanent employment with someone else. And we did our darndest to keep that from happening by keeping them engaged and promising that we would recommend them highly to the successor justices, because really we have an outstanding group of people working for us in Division 4. And we weren't entirely successful, but we kept some of them, and I'm grateful for that. Other than that, I really do plan to work through consensus rather than being a presiding justice who overlords my colleagues. I feel we make better decisions that way. So I would say, other than the fact that less Italian is spoken at our meetings, the tradition continues. I'm really following in the footsteps of my mentor and friend, Justice Manella, and thank you so much for those wonderful comments.
I'd just like to make one further comment. You are so modest. I got the opportunity to read the extensive application that you're required to fill out. And I just have to commend you on the pro bono work you've done, the work for the environment. You have accomplished so much, and you certainly are quite thoughtful and humble, because I didn't know about all these accomplishments of yours. And I can't imagine a better chair of civility on the Civility Task Force. And so I'm really looking forward to working with you in the future in the 2nd District.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Justice Gilbert. Attorney General Bonta.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to join you today for this hearing. It's very special to be here with your colleagues and family and friends, and just wanted to, and particularly to hear from your son. I haven't seen that very often, if at all, and just a very special moment. And congratulations, Braden, on your graduation from Yale Law School, and good luck at Williams & Connolly. I too had the honor of graduating from your alma mater, and spent my first summer at Williams and Connolly, and they're as good as it gets, as you know. So all the best to you, and amazing service from the entire family. You must be very proud, and it's wonderful that they're all here to share this moment with you. Just a short question, and I know you've been serving as presiding justice already, but as you sort of look to the future and maybe try to see around the corner, what are your top priorities, and what's at the top of your agenda?
Well, given what's in the news these days about our U.S. Supreme Court, my efforts will be to make sure that we faithfully apply the law, that we adhere to precedent, and depart from it only when warranted, that we keep in mind that our actions affect not only the litigants in front of us, but potentially society as a whole, and that when we make law, we should make good law, and to keep to the highest ethical standards possible. I think with what's going on in the federal court that we may see more people turning to the California courts to protect their rights, and to the legislature, and to your office. And so I look forward to serving the people in that way.
Love that global perspective and our critical role in California that we always have. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney General Bonta. Justice Curry, I just have a comment and a brief question. My comment in going through your PDQ was it just is so impressive in so many ways. And some of them have been mentioned and touched upon here. Your 30 years at O'Melveny, of course, your work with the court. And among your many accomplishments, you have an opportunity to describe what your proudest accomplishment is. And I was interested in your answer. You noted that you're most proud of your work for the mayor of LA. And the reason that you cited was because that gave you an opportunity to help other public servants accomplish their goals. And to me, that just exemplified what we've heard here today about your humility, your caring for others, and your commitment to public service. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that and thank you for continuing to serve the courts in this new capacity. And I also wanted to point out all the work that also has been mentioned with respect to civility. And my question is, I'm just curious how you came to be so passionate about that area, and what you see in the future with regard to that specific issue.
Well, there's a little bit of a funny story about how I came to be in the position that I'm in. I belong to a group called the Association of Business Trial Lawyers, and they were having a conference for all of the chapters in California, and they wanted to have a roundtable discussion on civility. It was something that was put together at the conference kind of at the last moment, and I was asked on the spot, would I moderate the discussion? So I asked for 10 minutes so I could go around to my friends and beg them to be sure they spoke up during this roundtable discussion. And then we had the discussion. We came up with some very good ideas, or the members came up with some good ideas. And then afterwards they asked me, well, what should we do with these ideas? And I suggested that we approach the state bar, and they had no idea how to do that. And I said, well, listen, the then current state bar is an old friend of mine from serving together on the LA County Bar Association board. Why don't I bring them to him? And so I did. That was Alan Steinbrecher. I will never forget that experience because I laid out all of these proposals and the issues, and Alan is a former Air Force fighter pilot, so he makes quick decisions, and he said, these are great ideas. I'm now appointing you chair of a new task force. Your job is to go out and get other members and then come back with recommendations for the state bar. And so that's what we did. We've been shamelessly lobbying and gathering support in the legal community for our proposals. The bar has sent them out for public comment twice now, and soon, I believe, will adopt some of the major proposals, and then they will end up on your desk because some of them are changes to the rules of court. And I hope you'll give them fair and full consideration.
I look forward to receiving them. Thank you. This completes the list of witnesses who are testifying here today. Are the members of the commission ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
All in favor of confirming Justice Braden Currey for this position, please say aye.
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 On this record and the correspondence received, the Commission finds Justice Currey qualified to be presiding justice at the 2nd District Court of Appeal, Division 4, and we confirm his appointment. Congratulations, Justice Currey.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody who is there. Justice Currey has asked me to administer his oath of office. And if you're ready, Justice Currey, we can do that now.
Well, I'd like to ask my family members. Yeah, come up over here.
Yes, take your time.
See, I'm not the tallest member of the family.
Impressive.
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Braden Currey,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That adjourns the hearing. Enjoy your day. Congratulations to you and your family.